Hello, good morning. It's Molly. I'm sitting on Heather's lap. Yeah, I know she likes to make videos, and I like to come in them too. They're pretty fun. All right, have fun, Heather. You guys do good. Okay, bye bye.
Okay, I'm gonna practice some self-calming techniques right now. I decided the computer was all ready to go live, so I just fucking did it. So I'm gonna practice some self-soothing techniques right now. Okay. I don't know why I keep getting that one confused. I see tree. I see flowering tree. I see electrical cords. I see me. I see papers. I hear filter. I hear cars. I hear my breathing. I hear the house creaking. I hear Molly breathing. I feel my hair. I feel my feet on the floor. I feel my butt on the seat. I feel muscles in my neck and upper shoulders. I feel Molly's soft fur. Smelling. I smell coffee with chocolate, hot chocolate in it. I smell some red juice with seltzer in it. Red juices. It's just me, literally red. I try to get one without any added sugars. Okay. I smell Molly. She's actually not stinky at all. I smell my sweatshirt. Smell. Smell this box of Kleenex. Okay. I saw, smelled. Taste. I've tasted a few things. I tasted my coffee. Do a little more of that. I'm not going to lick the dog. I'm not going to taste Molly. I'm going to taste my juice. Okay. All right. It actually really inspired me to come on, and then I didn't even do it, is as I started doing some tapping while I was noting that my system was getting really, really anxious and worked up. Oh, sweetie, she just laid down. She fits perfect in my lap because she's so itty bitty. Okay, this is what I came to talk about. I'd like to have a new experience with old stimulus. And the old stimulus is that I have chosen to try a medication that is specifically to support my mental health care, my mental health needs. There's a lot of story and history, so about my experience of being on medication throughout my lifetime, off and on. And I'm trying not to get into the story. I'm trying to stay with the here and now. And so the here and now is that I got a new doctor, a new mental health care professional, started seeing her in early February of 2022. I think by the time I'm making this video in late March 2022, I think we've had at least 6 sessions, and I filled out a significant amount of paperwork, which when she and I have talked, I could tell she clearly read it. She didn't just put it away. And ignore it. I've had so many doctors do that. I fill out so much paperwork and then they don't even look at it. I'm like, why did you make me do that if you're not even going to look at it? Anyway, stay here. In the here and now. We spent quite a bit of time deciding, because I did tell her up front, I feel like I need support, medication support. I've been doing the best I can for quite some time without it. And I feel like I've tried as much as I can. It's too hard these days. It has been for a while. And I am bringing in the new understanding and knowledge that there have been advances in medication since the last time I've tried it. There have also been advances in professional awareness of how a patient presents and how many different issues present with very similar symptoms. Some of them are actual disorders that can be treated with medication. Some of them are trauma responses, and I haven't typically found reasons why it's appropriate to medicate trauma responses. It doesn't typically work, at least in my case. It's been done. I've medicated trauma responses, but it doesn't help. Yeah, staying here. So I'm tracking that. I have a lot of tightness in my belly. It feels somewhat difficult to take a deep breath. energy in my head. That's energy moving there as well. Okay. All right. So, this new experience with old stimulus that I'd like to have, and I'm going to try really hard to also not get into too much in the weeds with this because I could tend to. So I'm trying to stay on track, keep this total video to under 25 minutes. So that gives me under 15 minutes. Okay. So one of the important steps to take when I know this, and I do practice this, and I'm going to practice it right now, is when given a new prescription medication, or restarting on a medication that you've been on before, but like it's kind of new to you right now. It's really important to read the paperwork that comes with it. Really important. And I have typically been really, really good about reading it. I also typically do quite a bit of research while I'm considering a new medication. I do some of my own research, and then I come back to the doctor with additional questions like, okay, well, I'm on this, and this, and I see that sometimes people have some issue. Like I come with specific questions. I'll I see these are some symptoms. Do you have any awareness around like how frequent they are? Just I educate myself about it before I put. And so that my doctor and I can have a more clear, high level conversation about it. This is an exception this one time. Because I didn't want to freak myself out, and I knew I would freak myself out if I did any research ahead of time. So I just trusted the doctor. And she said, I think this one's a good option. And I said, okay, I will try it. And I did not do any research until just within the past couple of days. And I've already been on it a week. I don't think that's the preferred method. That's just what I did this time. And it was because I just was in a state of, I can't handle it. And then this is what happened when I finally did read the paperwork. I read it. I felt overwhelmed and upset about some of the words I saw in here. I made some judgments about myself, and I threw the paperwork in the recycling, intending never to look at it again. I had a lot of judgments about myself, a lot of fear response, and shame. Shame is what led me to throw it in the recycle bin and intend never to look at it again. So this morning, I think I did that a couple days ago. I think is when I did that. This morning, I realized I needed to look at the paperwork again. I wanted to read it from my now perspective. I mean, it was in a calmer state when I wanted to read it again. And I was grateful that the recycling was still there and I could just pull it right up. It's just sitting there. So then I read it again this morning. So the third time through is when I realized, oh, yeah, I think it's important that I work through a little bit of this with myself. So that's why I am here. Really, this video is something that I'm making mostly for myself, but I figured it would be beneficial for perhaps others to see it as well. And so I don't feel like this is so private that I can't let anyone else know about it. And I don't think it's just a friends and family conversation. I think it's like, hey, I'm not afraid to say that I'm on a mental health medication. And I'm also not afraid to say that I have a lot of self-judgment about that and a lot of shame. And I want to work through that and release that shit, because I know I'm not the only one who has feelings of shame around being medicated for mental health disorders and issues. Okay. I hope that. Okay. So, a couple of things that I noticed. Having read a ton of this kind of stuff, I've been on lots of medications for lots of different reasons, not just mental health, throughout my life. And so I've read these many times. And the language that they're using has evolved, and I'm really grateful to see that. It's kind of a tiny bit, just only like tiny bit of effort. So it's not like it's gotten a lot better. But I noticed things like, instead of it saying, talk to your doctor before, it says, talk to your healthcare professional. And I appreciate that it's more inclusive in that, because I've seen a lot of doctors that were dipshits, and I felt like they were only good at their specialty. I definitely prefer medical professionals, or and many of them are also doctors, but medical professionals who have a broader, more holistic approach. And so when there was such an emphasis on talk to your doctor, it makes it sound like, unless someone has a PhD, they have minimal value. And that always pissed me off. And one of the really big ones that I saw in here, one of the side effects of this medication can be weight gain. And it says, talk to your healthcare provider about ways to control weight gain, such as eating a healthy, balanced diet and exercising. So on one hand, I was really happy to see that was in here. I was happy to see that it doesn't say doctor, but says healthcare provider. One of the parts that bothered me a lot is that many doctors will say that in medical school, they got like very little training around nutrition and around the role of food in health. That is not something that most medical schools, at least, I mean, it's 2022 now. I don't know what the curriculum is like, but I know most of the doctors who are in practice now, when they went to medical school, they're like, yeah, we didn't talk about nutrition. I think I took 1 credit hour or some shit like that. Like, I've heard 1 credit hour repeatedly from multiple doctors. It was their experience. So I've always really rankled at any suggestion that I talk to my doctor about nutrition, because they're not the ones who know more about it than, say, a nutritionist. But even, I don't know, there's even problematic there. Anyhow, I don't want to get too off into the weeds. But I was glad that it didn't say just talk to your doctor, because I've had doctors be like, yeah, I don't think your diet's going to make any difference whatsoever to your rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, anyway. So, and I can see how I avoided. Wow, I've done a really good job of avoiding. All right, uses. And I also want to say a disclaimer, I do not have an official diagnosis of any of the things that are written that it is said that this treats. I don't have any of these diagnoses. I do display many of the symptoms, and have most of my life. But yeah, I do not have any of these diagnoses, but this is the medication I'm taking. This medication is used to treat certain mental/mood conditions, such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, sudden episodes of mania, or depression associated with bipolar disorder. It is known as an antipsychotic drug, atypical type. It works by helping to restore the balance of certain natural substances, neurotransmitters, in the brain. This medication can decrease hallucinations and improve your concentration. It helps you to think more clearly and positively about yourself, feel less nervous, and take a more active part in everyday life. It may also improve your mood, sleep, appetite, and energy level. It can help prevent severe mood swings or decrease how often mood swings occur. I've never identified in any way really with any schizophrenic or schizophrenia. I don't believe I have that disorder. But I get really activated by the words bipolar and psychotic. I know it says antipsychotic, but it's still, and atypical. The word atypical also really always gets me in the gut. So yeah, I don't think I really need to understand exactly why I feel so much fear. I mean, I have images flashing through my brain of like the types of movies that I grew up seeing, the type of books I read, the scenes of people who are considered psychotic, the visions in media and just, talk just between people. Just when those words come up, especially psychotic, is really it's a scary thing. Yeah. And I've done a lot of work around recognizing that the common understanding and definition of a word is not always necessarily accurate. And one of the ways I've actively avoided receiving diagnoses throughout my life of quite a few different types because I just didn't want that word. And I'm not going to try to like remember a whole bunch of examples of them in this moment.
Oh, hush, no. It's just good morning. It's just our good morning. It's just your good morning. Yeah. Okay. Come here. It's okay. You startled you. That's all. It just was a startle. Yeah. You know her. She's your friend. She's your friend.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was saying I've actively avoided receiving diagnoses. I saw too many anecdotal examples of of people receiving diagnoses and then that having some sort of really negative impact on them. And I knew that if I received a label, I also actively have avoided a label of ADHD or autism or any of those things. I've actively avoided getting that label. Yeah. I'm afraid of being called those things, I guess. It's a young energy that's coming up around that. It feels deep and really worked in there. Yeah. So the other thing that's interesting is that there's a lot that's interesting in here. Honestly, there's a lot, but it's really. I remembered as I was reading it, I was remembering it's okay. This is why it's important to read this paperwork. There's really good info in here, and I had to keep kind of calming myself down though, also because even though there's really good info in here, it is really oriented towards the scarier aspects and what's most likely to go wrong is kind of more what it's oriented towards, and so it gets my imagination going, and it gets me like kind of almost a little more hypervigilant looking for these side effects and these symptoms. And I don't want to watch for them. That can just like, anyway. So there's that. I got to know what to watch for, but I have to keep reminding myself it's not happening right now. It's just things to keep an eye on. The doctor's also going to help me keep an eye on it. I'm going to talk to her every week about it. It's going to be totally fine. Nothing's going to sneak up on me. That's what it is. I'm going to get afraid of symptoms sneaking up on me. They've also added some really good helpful tips in here, like, help you remember, take it at the same time every day. Take this medication regularly. So I've set alarms so that I can remember to take it. I also note that they say in people under 25, you have to watch for certain stuff. And I think that's really important to be aware that basically a person's brain continues to change and evolve at a pretty rapid rate until 25. And so people under 25 are going to have different balances of neurotransmitters and all that stuff in there than people over that age. So that's why medication impacts them differently. Okay. But I have to keep reminding myself, yes, okay, I'm not looking for the worst case scenario. It's just stuff to be aware. So, okay. Dear. Do you need? I can be done in 1 minute. What time do you?
Okay, I'm starting.
Okay. Okay. I'll clear out. Let me finish up what I'm doing.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna start and then I'll.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. She didn't let me know. Okay. All right. Trying to wrap up. I guess that's it. I gotta clear out. So I'll clear out. Okay. Thank you for being on the receiving end. Hopefully this will have left me some interesting information. Okay.